Having troubles deciding on what shoe to buy? Hopefully this video can help you, or just give you like a little bit more insight on what makes the ULTRABOOST 5X different than the ULTRABOOST 1.0. Hopefully this can give you a more informed decision. Welcome back. And guess what we're doing today? We're gonna be taking a look at the new ULTRABOOST 5X and comparing it with the old, but still my favorite and very popular ULTRABOOST 1.0. So here it is, just in the mail. This is the new ULTRABOOST 5X. Here we go. So when you get in the box, you know, it's just the box. I'd say nothing special about this box. This colorway is just all gray, so it's probably gonna blend in with my background a little bit. Wow. You know what? It is lighter. Smells like a new shoe. So this is their new ULTRABOOST 5X. And with the new Light Boost technology, it's 17 grams lighter. You can see they've done a little bit of different modeling here, done away with the cage to reduce some weight. You still have the prime knit upper, which is nice and flexible, featuring 20% post-consumer materials for those environmentally conscious people. And it does have like a lot of bounce to it. These will put a little extra pep in your step. So here we have the two different ULTRABOOSTs, the ULTRABOOST 1.0, the classic that everyone loves, including myself. I wear these on my hours and hours of long shifts. And this is the new one. It's in the gray colorway, and I'm pretty excited to try these out. Hopefully my feet don't get tired and I can work on my feet for long hours. So let's compare the differences. And which one would you try? Which one would you pick and why? If you have one of these, or if you're interested or have any questions, leave a comment down below. Let's start from the ground up, so to speak. So they both feature the Continental rubber at the bottom. Continental rubber can be found on car tires, and these are both exceptionally grippy, which is awesome because I don't have to fear about slipping on things or when the floor is wet. Well, you still got to be careful. This one has like this polka dot kind of thing going on. It is pretty good. Like sometimes I go on the trails and it still has pretty good grip. Sometimes there's like dirt that gets stuck in here, but that's fine. This middle section's kind of weird. It's just kind of like got this like empty space. But I think overall on the ULTRABOOST 1.0, the Continental rubber is a little bit thicker, so you might get a little bit more mileage in terms of the Continental rubber on the 1.0. Let's compare that to the Continental rubber on the 5X. I think it's just a little bit thinner. Yeah, so let's compare the rubber side by side. And you can see that, unless my eyes deceive me, the Continental rubber is just a little bit thinner on the 5X, whereas the Continental rubber on the 1.0, it's like a little bit more chunky. So this is gonna be a little bit of a smoother ride, just because it's like a little bit smoother, especially this part here. It almost looks like their trail runner. It still provides exceptional grip. I think the spacing is kind of similar. Here you can see, yeah, the torsion system is quite a bit different. I would say here there's more plastic on the torsion system on this side. It has this X pattern, definitely reduces the weight. I'd say the 1.0 has like a little bit more rigidity, maybe in the midsection, but then in the forefoot, there's not as much support in the forefoot, but more support in the midfoot. Overall, I think the 5X is a win. It's just like overall more stable throughout the whole shoe. On the 5X, we have two different kinds of Continental rubber. We have like a transparent Continental, color Continental, whereas the 1.0 is a little bit more simplified. Depending on what kind of colorway you get, it could be just all black or maybe the gum rubber. The simplicity is nice. It feels less of a runner and more of a lifestyle shoe. Moving on to the midsection, if we compare them side by side, I would say that the 5X has a more streamlined approach. Feels more aerodynamic, whereas the 1.0 feels a bit more pellety. Well, back in 15, you know, that's where ULTRABOOSTs were made from. It's just inflating these micro pellets and they expand with air. It does have like a little bit more of that pellet vibe going on. Yeah, you can see near the toes, it's a little bit thinner. They've definitely added more thickness, more boost, more air. Same with the heel. There's definitely a significant increase of boost on the 5X compared to the 1.0. So if you like being a little bit higher off the ground, 5X is the way to go. If you like being grounded and you like standing more than walking, maybe the 1X makes you feel a bit more grounded. Depends if you like that cushy feel or the flat groundedness feel. Moving on to the external heel, not the cups. I mean, back then in the 1.0, they did make these plastic. This edition here is all leather. For the cage is all leather, and the heel cups are also all leather. So it definitely adds a significant amount of weight to this version. But traditionally the cage is all plastic and the external heel supports are usually plastic. And for this one, it's gone a little bit lower, a little bit more streamlined, reducing in the weight. So if we compare them side by side here, this one is like more streamlined. This one is thicker and heavier. Moving on to the cage. Most Adidas Ultraboost 1.0 feature this cage system. There are some that don't have this cage, which are cageless. This one is cageless, but yeah, these are really worn. So the cage system is where the lacing happens. You can see the prime knit is not really attached to any of the laces. It's just the cage there. With the new 5X, the lacing is attached to this material laminate that's stitched into the prime knit. So that helps to reduce the weight. But in terms of feeling locked in, it's really just these 3 stripes here that is providing the support. It still feels pretty secure. Like there's definitely no wiggle room there. Okay, the back part is very similar. I like how that they've gone away without the mid stitch. This one, they have a mid stitch there, which is really just personal taste. I think the new one without the stitch in the middle is a lot more streamlined. I love these tabs because it helps me save time when I'm going in and out of the door and I just need to slip on my shoes right away. I can just grab the back and the top and then put my foot in quite easily. This one, the front part doesn't have much, but the back part is still nice. I can still grab it with a nice thumb grip there. Now, the part where your foot goes in is definitely really interesting because they are a little bit different. When you come to the opening, there's really not much here. It's just the prime knit there. Whereas here on the 1.0, it's quite substantial. Like it feels like an additional piece of shoe. Like it's very thick. Well, this edition here, this top part is all leather as well. So it does feel a bit more chunky. Most Ultra Boost, there's just all prime knit. But then the inside here is a lot more padded. I would say that this one, it's really just the bottom part, the midsole and the heel feels like a shoe, and then the top upper feels more like a sock. The forefoot all feels like a sock, except for the part where your ankle is supported. That part feels like a shoe. So if you like that shoe feeling on your top of your ankle, 1.0 is the way to go. If you like that sock feel with that prime knit upper, maybe the 5X is better for you. Moving on to the upper now, the 1.0, it's more flexible. It feels more stretchy and more breathable. Like you can see all the air gaps in there. The only part that is supported is around the toe box and then around here to even the lateral part of the metatarsal area. It's quite stretchy. So it's great for people who have bunions like me that need that extra stretchiness. Although it doesn't have much support in the forefoot. It's mostly the midsection that has a lot of support. If we look at the new Ultraboost 5X, I would say it's just a little bit less stretchy in the prime knit. So it feels more like a running shoe. It's going to give you more support around the toes. And then also, even if we look, yeah, there's definitely some stretch there. It's still a good amount of stretch. It feels more tightly knitted though. Prime knit is a little bit looser, and then prime knit on the 5X is a little bit tighter of a knit, but it's still stretchy. My all-time favorite, Ultraboost 1.0. I have maybe 20 of these just because I go through them, and I've been wearing them since 2015. Wow, almost a decade, I guess. If I go to the gym or if I'm gonna run or do a lot of walking, I think this is the one I'm gonna choose. Some of the other ones where the back is just like bulging and the forefoot is just really thin. Just feels like you're standing on this wedge. So I think they're actually going in the right direction. It looks a little bit better. Still functional if you want to do your running. Now, we also have some other ones. Now, it's really interesting to see the evolution of Adidas going all the way from the ULTRABOOST 1.0 back in 2015 all the way to now in 2023 with their new ULTRABOOST 5X. There's also their 4D technology where they 3D print the midsole section. I think it's definitely an interesting innovation. Maybe there's still more to come. I love that technology. It definitely feels good on the feet. I think it's actually more durable. Like, it feels like it lasts longer than the Boost. Because the thing with the Boost is like you're basically just stepping on styrofoam pellets. And once that bounce kind of wears out, you kind of lose that bounce. So usually I have to replace my shoes maybe every 4 to 6 months, just because I spend so much time on them. If you have many shoes that you can rotate through, maybe they'll last you several years, depending on your use. So I find the 4D technology actually seems like it lasts a little bit longer compared to the Boost. However, because of all these holes, dirt, junk, and all sorts of things fall inside the cracks, which is why I'm not actually a huge fan of them. In fact, I probably use these mostly for indoor shoes just because of the gaps in between. It's really nice to have the ULTRABOOST. It doesn't have gaps, and that means it's much easier to clean. If we compare the new 5X with the 4D, it still has the Continental rubber at the bottom, but I would say that the amount of Continental rubber you're getting here is much more substantial. The outsole here, there is no gaps. It's just all rubber. It basically looks like a car tire, okay? And it's maybe like 2 or 3 times thicker compared to the Continental rubber here. You can see that they have like extra gaps. It provides extra grip, I guess, but it's also a way of giving you less material, reducing the cost, and reducing the weight. So if you're looking for a shoe that will last you longer, maybe consider the 3D printed one, 4D. This one's the 4DD. This one also has a similar upper as ULTRABOOST 1.0. Again, the Continental rubber here, it's just a whole piece of Continental rubber, which I guess justifies the price because it is a little thicker. It is going to last you longer. It is a bit of a heavier shoe. I wouldn't say this is going to be your running shoe. It's more of a lifestyle shoe. I think the new ULTRABOOST 5X kind of reminds me of the ULTRABOOST 20. Now this is the ULTRABOOST 20X James Bond edition, back when the James Bond movie came out. The back heel support, kind of interesting. I think this came out in like 2020 maybe. It also features the ULTRABOOST. This is not their light boost. And the Continental rubber is a little bit different compared to the 1.0. Now, these shoes are very dirty because I wear them a lot. So they went from the round style of Continental rubber and they moved to a more square type. Also, I would say like this one feels a little bit pointier and this one feels a little squarer. I think they also did a little bit different of the stitching here with the forefoot. Definitely feels more durable. I think they did a pretty good job for their ULTRABOOST 20X. These ones they don't really make anymore. They're actually kind of uncomfortable, to be honest. They don't have as much stretch in the prime knit upper, but some of the similar designs they carried forward from the ULTRABOOST 20X to their 5X. You can see the back there is similar. They've gone away without that stitching. Very similar torsion system as the 1.0 where they have that chunk of plastic in the middle. Because without that chunk of plastic, this shoe would just bend in half. Now there is quite a bit of bend there. You can see that one's wearing out. This one feels a lot stiffer just because they added a little bit more light boost there in the forefoot. Here with the tongue prime knit, and then just only the back part here feels like a shoe, and that's the same thing going on here as well. So what do you think? What's your favorite version of Adidas ULTRABOOST? Is it the Adidas ULTRABOOST 1.0, the classic, more like a lifestyle shoe? Or are you into the new innovation in technology, going far beyond the ULTRABOOST pellet technology and doing 3D printed midsoles. That's something you're into. Maybe you appreciate more continental rubber on the bottom. Maybe you kind of want a mix of both. Maybe you want that ULTRABOOST 1.0 upper without the cage. This one is like in a mint green. There's lots of different colorways out there to pick from. And this midsole here, 3D printed. I don't think you can get this version anymore, but yeah, this was a James Bond edition. Apparently you can like stash things in here. It's like a secret pocket for those secret spies that are aspiring to be like James Bond. I don't know, like what would you put in there? Like a $20 bill or something? I feel like I might lose something if I put something in there. I like that modern aesthetic though. That's why I got these shoes. It also came with a really nice box, might I add. Now this one, they have some interesting colorways. They came in some really flashy ones. But as you can tell, I'm more of like this minimalist style. So I really appreciate just the all one colorway. Doesn't make my feet too flashy. It feels less like a running shoe and more like a lifestyle shoe, just based on the color. I just find that a lot of running shoes are just really flashy and colorful, which is great. I mean, it feels like a sports car, but sometimes I don't want sports cars on my feet all the time. So I think that this is definitely an interesting choice. The performance of a race car, but depending on the colorway you get, it's like getting a little bit closer to a lifestyle shoe that just has a little bit more simplicity that I think a lot of people will appreciate. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully this can help you out in deciding on what kind of shoe is going to be best for your feet. As always, it's best to try them on because each shoe is going to feel a little bit different for each person. If we just take these shoes away, we just come back to these two shoes, which one would you pick? ULTRABOOST 1.0 or ULTRABOOST 5X? The spacey gray, it looks like a spaceship, right? It's like, this one looks like it could fly. I mean, look, it practically can fly. Boom! This one, oh yeah, I mean, that's the boost for you, right? Lots of just bend there in the forefoot. This one a lot more rigid. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more content like this, or if you're interested in just products that will improve your quality of life, feel free to like this video and subscribe for more videos like this one.